Manushyanam Sahasreshu. This is how it works. This Krishna consciousness is meant for the most intelligent section of this human society. It is actually not meant for everybody. For everybody else, eating, sleeping, mating, defending is meant. So naturally, especially as it was said, in Kali Yuga, people are naturally not attracted to the signs of spirit soul. They are naturally not attracted to things which concern spiritual life. But however, we pray for everybody. We want that everybody should benefit from this. We hope and we pray that somehow or the other everybody should feel the touch of Krishna consciousness or the touch of Bhagavad Gita in their life. So thank you to those who have come today. Anybody coming for the first time today? You are coming for the first time. Very good. Everybody else has attended at least one or two sessions. Very good. So the title for today's discussion, but even before that, this session is dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Last week when I was down with dengue, one of my colleagues, one of my students, they presented a session on Do I Need a Guide? How many of you attended that? Do I Need a Guide? In that session, very nicely it was highlighted who is a guide and why do I need a guide? If you need to buy gold, that means you need to understand what is gold first. If you just know that gold is shiny yellow, someone may sell you a pumpkin saying that it is gold. So only those who know what is gold can actually get the gold properly. So yes, last week was a session where we understood what is the qualification of a guru, who is a guru, what is the definition of a guru. And then based on that definition, we did some analysis and we presented the life and teachings of the Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. Hope all of you liked it. However, now we get back to the fundamentals again. The topic for today's discussion is Who am I? Any guesses? Who are you? You have to raise your hands and say. Let's make it interactive. Who are you? Okay, we'll start from you. Who are you? You are a human being. Who are you?
Just a body carrying the soul.
Just a body which is carrying the soul. So are you the carrier or you are the soul or what are you? Or are you God?
The soul.
You are the soul. Okay. Human being, soul. Any other answer? Yes.
Krishna sent me for a special purpose.
What is that special purpose?
To serve the purpose, like why he sent to us.
Krishna sent me for a special purpose. That special purpose is to serve the purpose.
Yes.
Smart answers. Any other answer? Who are you? Just try. There is no right or wrong answer here. Just yes.
We are all creators.
We are all creatures. Who has created us? Yes. Anyways, there are many answers. Today, not so amusing answers are coming. But let's try to discuss. This is the agenda for today's discussion. Our two identities, how many bodies we have, the proof of the soul's existence, FAQs on the soul, and group chanting, just like always. If you want to understand who am I, it's absolutely crazy to think of yourself as someone who you are not. It's absolutely crazy. Suppose a fish starts thinking, I am a monkey, and it jumps out of the water and starts climbing the tree. What is going to happen? It will die. Exactly. So we need to know who we are. Spiritual science begins by understanding who am I. And if you understand yourself properly, then only there is some scope of understanding God. However, we get confused. We are all wearing some false identifications. In normal language, we call it as a mask. How many of you think you wear many masks every day? Okay. Can you, without me getting personal, can you describe one of the, like, which are the masks you wear? Mask means it's not the real you, but you act like that. Yes.
In office, we have to
In office, you have to.
wear a mask that we cannot show our personal things in office.
You cannot show or discuss your personal life in office, so you have to act as if you don't have a personal life. Correct?
And vice versa.
Sorry?
And vice versa.
In vice versa. In home, you have to act in a way that it seems your whole life, body, mind, and soul is dedicated for home, and there is no other purpose other than home. Correct? So I'll give you an example. Why do we wear this mask? We went to a government office to do some land registration. And then as soon as we knocked and we went inside, the person sitting there immediately picked up the landline phone. There were 2 landline phones there. He picked up and he started talking. In one of them, he's telling, yes, I'm on your task. By today, it will be finished. Again, he picked up the next phone and he said, yes, you have called the right person. And you have to send me these documents. And then he took both the phones in his hand and he asked us, how can I help you? Why have you come here? What brings you here? And then he again started talking on the phone. And then after some 30 seconds or so, a person came inside and he said, sir, I'm coming from BSNL office. You had complained that landline is not working, so I have come to repair. And then he looked at me, he looked at that person, kept both the phones down, and he became embarrassed. Why he did this? Sorry? To please others. Basically, we want to show everybody we are someone whom we are not. He wanted to show us. He must be just lazing around. But as soon as we went in, he wanted to show us he's so busy. And if we want to get our task done, we have to give him some money probably. Or maybe he has to do a special favor on us. So we are all trying to show off. We are all trying to become a person whom we are not. And as a result of that, we often forget who we are. We forget our identification. So what is our true identity? We have 2 kinds of identities. One I would like to call as the relative or the temporary identity, and one is the absolute. The opposite of relative is absolute, or the permanent identity. A relative or temporary identity is based on the body. This is a photo which shows the various stages of life. Where are you in this photo? Yes, you. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Where are you? No, I didn't ask you. I asked him. You are in the third one. At some point of time, you were in the first one. And very soon, you may be in the last one. Do you know when you will be in the last one? Okay. Please take note. Okay, let me become objective, then only I will catch attention of people. Last one. Yes, sir. You. What is your name? What is your age? Jaychandra Naidu. Jaychandra Naidu. Okay. Age?
40.
40. You are 40 years old. Do you remember something when you were 4 years old? Some incident, some memory?
When I go to play school.
When you go to, that time play school used to be there?
Balwadi, we call it.
Balwadi. Okay. Do you have some memory when you were 8 years old? 10 years? Little bigger, teenage memories?
Yeah, in some schools.
Yes, okay. Do you have some memories when you were 22 years old? 25? When you were,
When I start to thinking about the past, maybe.
yes, some memories that you have? Okay. And now you have some memories of last year?
Yes.
Yes. When you were 4 years old, you have some memory. At that time, your body was different, your mind was different, your level of intelligence was different. When you have the memories of a teenage, again your body, mind, and intelligence was different. Now your body is completely different, your mind is completely different, your intelligence is completely different. In fact, according to medical science, every 7 years, each and every cell of your body also changes. So, throughout your life, you have been changing your body, you have been changing your mind, your intelligence has been evolving. intelligence is not key. Intelligence means the ability to differentiate what is right, what is wrong. And that comes from a superior authority. This is not working. So initially it was not recorded. Okay, so that is intelligence. Suppose you are a diabetic person and some very nice sweet is kept in front of you. There will be two voices inside you. One will say, please eat it as early as possible before someone sees. And the other voice will be coming, no, 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 you should not eat. Just 3 minutes of happiness and then 3 years of misery. Don't eat it. Out of these two voices, which is the mind and which is the intelligence? First is mind. Second is, whom will you listen to? Whom should you listen to? Mind or the intelligence? That is how you should make your intelligence stronger. But is it easy to listen to the intelligence? Sometimes the mind overpowers so much that it is not possible to listen to the intelligence. You will listen to intelligence only when you feed the intelligence. Consider this mind and intelligence to be like two dogs. The dog whom you feed will gain control. If you feed your mind, that means when you do activities whimsically, without any basis, just because you want to do it, so you are doing it. For example, I met a lady who said that it is my fundamental right to walk around naked. It is my artistic expression. I said, but why you are doing that? You were born naked doesn't mean that you will live naked whole your life. So no, this is my fundamental right. How dare you ask me to wear a sari? It's none of your business. You close your eyes. I will do whatever I want, I will wear whatever I want, I will behave the way I want. You close your eyes, you close your ears, you close your mouth and you stay in a corner. I asked her that what is the basis of your statements? Have you seen any senior authority doing like this? Or there are many great personalities, great women in our scriptures. Has anyone done like this? So no, I will do it because I want to do it. So that is lack of intelligence. Similarly, I met a man who was a chain smoker. And I asked him that why you are smoking so much? Then he started giving me reasons. It relieves my stress, it helps me to work more, it helps me to earn money. But I said that every time you smoke, you are killing yourself. It is mentioned on the cigarette packet also. Why are you smoking? You are actually losing your life bit by bit. But then that man said, no, I want to smoke. The urge is so strong. I know it is wrong, but I still do it. So the whole world has fed their mind with so much crap that the intelligence is like a rabbit and the mind is like a dinosaur. And when then these two talk, obviously the mind will overpower. So intelligence has to be fed more and mind has to be ignored. I repeat, the first step to mind control is to ignore your mind. You have put an alarm of 5 a.m. Your mind will tell you, you have worked harder than anybody yesterday. You deserve to sleep till 8 a.m. But then you have to ignore your mind. And then why you should ignore your mind? Because it is told in the Bhagavad Gita. One who eats too much or eats too little or sleeps too much or sleeps too little can never perform yoga, can never be a yogi. Krishna speaks like that. So therefore, I should give my body optimum amount of rest, but wake up at least 1 hour before sunrise. At least. So in this way, if you make your intelligence stronger, intelligence becomes strong by reading the magazines, correct? Intelligence becomes strong by By reading scriptures, reading the word of God, reading Bhagavad Gita. And with that, you have to control your mind. If you listen to your mind more, the mind will become stronger. If you listen to your intelligence more, the intelligence will become stronger. It is your choice whom you want to listen to. Trust me, there is no limit to which the mind can kick you and make you think, feel, believe what you want. That's why most of the people, they talk like this. I think, I feel, I believe, in my opinion, according to me. Nobody says according to Bhagavad Gita or according to Lord Krishna or according to the Bhagavatam or according to the great Mahajans or according to the Acharyas. Nobody speaks like this. Even in an ordinary court, if you go, the statements which the lawyer makes, he has to say according to a previous judgment or according to the Constitution of India, according to this bill, according to this law. If he doesn't give references, the judge will please tell him, please walk out, please shut up. Your statements have no value because you are giving no reference. But in our whole life, we don't care for reference. Most of our arguments and conversations are based on what we read in Quora, what we saw on WhatsApp, and what we heard in movies. Correct, no? So therefore, that also leads to a huge amount of false ego, and all this crap makes our subtle body. Our gross body is not so much ourself than our subtle body. We identify more with our subtle body. Some people say, I come from my mind. There was a company earlier, I think, therefore I am, Ityam. I don't know if that company exists or not. So this is our subtle body. How many bodies we have? What is the first? Gross body, which is made of? What are those elements? Fire, water, air, earth. Ether means? Space, yeah. Subtle body is made of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So totally 8 things. And what are these 8 things which Krishna says? They are my separated material energies. They are all energies of Krishna only, but they are separated from him, not in direct touch with him. So if our whole existence, our gross body and subtle body is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, then whom do we belong to? Whom do we belong to? We are made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, various combinations. And all these things, Krishna says, they are my separated material energies. Then everything which we do or everything which we create, whom does it belong to? This is called common sense. When I go to office, whatever work I do, it belongs to whom? Why? Because they are giving you the room, they are giving you the AC, they are giving you the laptop, they are giving you the internet, they are giving you the salary. So all the intellectual property you create belongs to the company. And you are okay with it. But when Krishna says, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram, oh, I cannot digest this. Krishna is saying that everything which you do belongs to me. Arey, how can he say this? This is the proof. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, that's what I am. And it is Krishna's energy. So everything which I do with my gross and subtle body, the results of that should go to whom? 99% for my family and 1% for society, not for Krishna. Correct, no? This is the reason why we are all struggling. Imagine if you run away with one of the intellectual property of your office. What will they do to you? They'll call you a gentleman or a thief. Everything which we do is by the grace of Krishna. But how much do we offer it to him? How much do we thank him? How much results of our work do we give to Krishna? And we say Krishna is not a good person. Who is the real thief here? Krishna or us? This is just that's why I say bhakti is common sense. Those who understand basics, they will very wholeheartedly worship Krishna. Those who do not perform bhakti, those who are not serving God, actually they are thieves. Now it depends what kind of a thief you are. If you say 99% for my wife, 1% for Krishna, then you are a 99% thief. If you say 50% for Krishna, 50% for me, my family and my other relatives, that means you are a 50% thief. I'm just presenting a point here. Don't stretch this example in a very unrealistic way. I'm just trying to make a point here. Because there have been people who have dedicated their life for Krishna. And they have been great personalities like Maharaj Yudhishthira. Everything which he had, he used in the service of Krishna. The whole Mahabharata is the living proof of that. And he was the happiest man. And there are so many such people, Maharaj Ambarish, Maharaj Harish Chandra, so many great kings. Even recently, Kulashekhara Alvar, great king, had dedicated his life for the service of God. And we read about him now also. So it is possible to dedicate your mind, body, life, intelligence, tan, man, dhan to God and be happy. And in fact, that is the only way to be happy. That is the only way. The more you think that this house is mine, this phone is mine, these people are mine, this family is mine, this land is mine, the more you get trapped in the false ego. Towards the end of this session, we will discuss what is true ego. And then things will become more clear. So therefore, the third body which we have, which is our original body, is the spiritual body. And it is made of three elements: Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat means it is eternal. Chit means it is full of all knowledge and consciousness. And Ananda means it is eternally blissful. This is the real us, Satchidananda, spiritual body. All of us are this. But because of being conditioned and because of being in touch with the material atmosphere or with the material contamination since time immemorial, we have forgotten our spiritual existence. And we think we are this body, or we think we are the mind, or we think we are the intelligence, or we think we are the ego. This is the real problem. Now this can be understood in further ways also. Some analogies can also be given. All of you are related to IT background, so I am giving an IT example here. The computer can be considered to be the gross body, the laptop. But can you see the software inside in it? That is the subtle body. Imagine a laptop without software. What you will do with it? You just throw it away. However, will your laptop and softwares work without electricity? So the soul is the real force which runs, or electricity is the force which runs your software and laptop. Similarly, soul is the real force based on which your mind, intelligence, ego, and the body which is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether is functioning. We are discussing all this just to understand how many bodies we have. However, the best analogy to understand the functional document of this body comes in Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Shvetashvatara Upanishad talks about the body as a chariot. I love this example and I want to share with all of you. It makes so much sense. In this chariot example, you will see that there are 5 horses. These 5 horses have been compared to the 5 Gyanendriyas. The sense of hearing, smell, taste, touch and sight. And all of them, they want different things. The tongue wants something else. The eyes want something else. The ears want something else. The nose wants something else. So therefore, it's like these 5 horses, they are yoked to a chariot, but these 5 horses, they want to run in different directions. And they are all wild. Do you feel the wild urge within you to eat something sometimes? Do you feel the wild urge within you to see something horrible? Do you feel the wild urge in you to hear some gossip? So all these horses are wild. So therefore, to control these horses, you need the reins, the rope. The Vedas say those ropes are the mind. That means the senses are connected to the mind. Until and unless you control your senses, you can never experience a peaceful mind. Now, who is controlling the horses with the rope? The charioteer, the driver. So the driver is called as the intelligence. That means with your intelligence, you have to control your mind so that your senses, they listen to you. And the person who is sitting in the chariot is the spirit soul. And the charioteer should listen to whom? The person who is sitting, the passenger. So your intelligence should listen to your soul. And your mind should listen to the intelligence. And your senses should do what the mind demands. This is the hierarchy. Highest is the spirit soul, lower than the soul is the intelligence, lower than the intelligence is the mind, and lower than the mind are the senses. This is the order. If this is not the order, then imagine what will happen to this chariot. An accident. We all have 3 bodies, all 3 bodies are discussed here. The chariot is your gross body. The control of the chariot is your mind. The controller of the mind is the intelligence, that is the subtle body. And you, the passenger, who is sitting in this body, is the spirit soul. And this chariot has to reach a destination. This chariot is not your life. You are just using it to reach a destination. So therefore this human form of life is meant for realizing God. That's why we have got this body. This world can be compared to an ocean of birth and death. The human body can be compared to a beautiful boat. The bona fide guru or the bona fide spiritual master who is a devotee of Krishna can be considered to be the boatman. The instructions of the Supreme Lord coming through Bhagavad Gita can be considered to be the favorable winds which are driving this boat towards the shore of the ocean. These are some analogies which I am speaking from Vedic literature. So human form is very, very rare. Extremely rare. After getting this human form of life, understanding the 3 bodies which we have, if we do not utilize it for Brahma Jigyasa, if we do not utilize it for understanding what is the purpose of my life, who am I, who is God, and what is my relationship with Him, the Sambandha Gyan, then be ready to degrade in the lower species of life after this. Krishna says, Neha bhikrama nasosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. He says that this path of bhakti, this path of performing devotional service, everything which you do in this path of devotional service is your eternal spiritual credit. Neha bhikrama nasosti. It will never be destroyed. Will your body be destroyed? Yes. Will your money be destroyed? Yes. Will your degrees and social influence be destroyed? Everything will be destroyed. But these spiritual credits which you get, that will never be destroyed. In fact, Krishna says, Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even little bit of bhakti if you do, it will save you from the most dangerous type of fear. What is that most dangerous type of fear? degradation into the lower species of life after getting a human form. That is the most dangerous kind of fear. That means anybody who is chanting Hare Krishna, reading the Bhagavad Gita, eating Krishna Prasad, and regularly associating with devotees will at least get a human form in the next life, so that they can continue their unfinished business of serving Krishna. That's the thing. So these are the various analogies. So we have discussed till now our two identities. We have discussed how many bodies we have. Now we will see some proof. Although I don't need to prove, all of you are already convinced, but just for the sake of discussion, the proof of the soul's existence. We'll prove it in three different ways. By common sense, through scientific observations, and then through the Shastra or the scriptures. Actually, I should have gone directly to the scriptures, but then there are some extra intelligent people who come sometimes. For them, I have to invest another half an hour. Okay, first is common sense. Everybody, show me your right hand. This is funny, sometimes people raise the left hand. Okay. Now point to your right eye. Okay, everybody has. Point to your left knee. Point to your left ear. Point to your head. Point to yourself. Where are you pointing? Point to your chest. And now point to yourself. Strange, na? This is my head, this is my leg, this is my chest. But who am I? Am I the head? Am I the right ear? Am I the chest? What am I? How many of you think that you are your right knee? Or how many of you think you are the chest? Or how many of you think you are the head? This is common sense. You know it within you that you are not this body. Do you understand? When I said point towards yourself, where you were pointing? Your belly. The whole life I am working for this. Papi pet ka sawal hai. So this is me. If you want a real biography of me, take the photo of my belly. But that's not you. We all know it, especially in the holy land of India. Everybody knows this. Okay, I want to know what are the various languages which is spoken here. Anybody knows Kannada? Raise your hand. Okay. Telugu? Tamil? Malayalam? Any other language? Gujarati? Marathi? Hindi? Bengali? Okay. Let's hear how we say this in various languages. I'll give you a statement. You have to tell me how do you say it in various languages. Ramesh say it in a respectful way. Ramesh passed away. How do you say it in Kannada? Loudly. Sattva Oda. How do you say it in Tamil? Huh? I'm not able to hear. How do you say Tamil? Okay. How do you say it in Malayalam? Marichi poi. Marichi pai. Okay. How do you say it in Bengali? Mara gechen. Gechen. Okay. थोड़ा respectfully बोलो ना यार. कुछ निधन हो गया या स्वर्गवास हो गया, कुछ थोड़ा respectfully बोलो.
सर अभी कह सकते हैं अलग अलग ऐसे ही कहते हैं.
मेरी गच्छन सदगति हो गया. वेरी गुड. ये हिंदी में बोल रहे हैं. So you see in various languages when you say that someone has died, you use terms like sadgati ho gaya, you use terms like he passed away, Mary Getchin. Now there is always this constant usage of the word that somebody has gone. Do you agree? In all languages? But the question is, who has gone? When I say Ramesh passed away, so Ramesh is still here. His eyes are here, his knee is here, his belly is here, his head is here, his kidney which can be transplanted is here. His whole body is here. So who has passed away? The soul has passed away. So I'm just, you see, we are discussing the proof of the soul through common sense. When I ask who you are, you cannot point anywhere. This is me. You can't say like that. Similarly, if someone dies, you say this person has passed away, this person has quit his body, this person sadgati ho gaya, like that. So these are some common sense by which we can understand that we are not the body. When you see someone died, you say he or she has passed away. But who has passed away? The body is still there. The soul has passed away. You love your relative, you love your family members so much. The whole life you keep taking photos with them. But when they die, in less than 24 hours you cremate them. Why? You should at least keep the body for 1 year, 2 years. Sleep with it. Eat with it. What is that thing which goes missing that within 24 hours you burn or you cremate the body? The soul. Irrespective whether you are Sridevi or Jayalalitha or Michael Jackson. Everybody used to like Sridevi. But when she died, in less than 24 hours that body was burnt. Even the fans of Sridevi, they stopped wanting to see Sridevi anymore the moment she died. The point which I am trying to make here is, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Mama Eva Amsha. The spirit soul is my Amsha. We are spirit souls, we are part and parcels of Krishna. That part of Hari, that part of Krishna, as long as it is there in our body, we are valuable. The moment that small fragment of Hari, that part and parcel of Krishna leaves us, we are useless. So actually we are all loving God only. If I say I love my father, I'm actually not loving my father. I'm loving the presence of God within my father. I'm loving the spirit soul of my father. And that spirit soul is a part and parcel of Krishna. This is something very deep for you to appreciate. We are all looking for God. Some of us realize it, some of us don't realize it. But we are all looking for love. We are all looking for Krishna. So therefore, we will feel maximum satisfaction in our relationships when we will see everybody as a part and parcel of Krishna, as a part and parcel of God. Then only we will achieve perfection. That is called spiritual vision. So through common sense we have understood that we are not the body, we are the spirit soul, and we have perceived the presence of the soul also. Now let's understand it through some scientific analysis also. I will give an example of two things, near-death experience and reincarnation. How many of you have had a near-death experience? Please raise your hand. Okay, 2 people raise hand. What is your near-death experience?
Once I went to BTS downside, we has to leave. Actually, I did.
You thought that you died, but did you die? No. So during did you see death? Did you experience death? Like what happened actually? I'm not asking a narrow escape of death situation. I'm actually asking near-death experience. मरते मरते बचे वो आई एम नॉट आस्किंग actually you have experienced death very closely, near-death experience. There have been many near-death experiences and which have been documented by a doctor called Michael A. Sabom. He has written a book called Light and Death. It's freely downloadable on internet. You can download that also. Light and Death. Not life and death. Light and death. So he has documented so many cases where people have had near-death experiences, where they experienced out-of-body experience. There have been cases, so this is what near-death experiences are of various people. Sometimes they feel a sense of being removed from the body, removed from the world. Sometimes they see a dark tunnel. Sometimes they see some ghostly beings attacking with ropes. In Vedic literature we call them Yamadutas. Sometimes they observe the doctors and nurses outside the body. There have been various cases where a patient in a cardiac arrest situation or in a comatose situation is brought inside the hospital, and there is no way that the patient can see what is around. The patient is in a very serious situation and the patient is being operated upon, but when the patient comes back to consciousness, they say and tell things which are impossible for them to observe. They sometimes tell that I saw that on the terrace of this hospital there is a dirty pair of shoes. I heard, when electronically the ECG had stopped working, the heart had stopped working, and they were trying to, they were trying to re-energize the heart. That time the patient is clinically dead. But during that time, the conversations which the doctors were having, that they are able to say. So this kind of experience, out-of-body experiences, they are observing their body and all the other nurses and the doctors and other things around them. And they are able to tell it back again. So sometimes they have a flashback of their entire life. So these near-death experiences cannot be explained scientifically. This is the proof of the existence of the soul. When somebody is declared clinically brain dead, they observe events from a place outside their body. This is a kind of self-awareness which points to the existence of the soul, which will force you to believe. If a person is brain dead, what they can hear, according to medical science, nothing. But then he is able to tell, after he wakes up, he is able to tell, I heard this person saying that, I heard this person saying that. So therefore, near-death experience is an undeniable subject matter which points to a different kind of awareness which cannot be medically verified or observed also. We are talking about a consciousness which is greater than our gross and subtle existence. This is the proof of the soul's existence. Next, I would like to discuss reincarnation. I am showing you the photo of a person who still lives. His name is Deep Kapadia. You can Google about him. There are various interviews of this person. There is a professor called Dr. Ian Stevenson, professor of psychiatry in West Virginia, USA. He has documented and verified 3,000 cases of reincarnation where people have past life memories. Whenever he gets any information like this, he goes to that person, takes all the evidence, verifies it also. If that person says, in my previous life I was at this place doing this, this was my name, this was my address, he goes and verifies it also. So verified 3,000 documented cases of reincarnation. And this Deep Kapadia's reincarnation analysis or reincarnation documentation was done in Nimhans, Bangalore. Deep Kapadia, in this life, he's called as Deep Kapadia. When he was 2.5 years old, he started speaking Marwadi language. And he started saying that I am from Udaipur. Take me. When his parents were confused, he was giving so many details that it could not be denied. Then the parents took him to Udaipur. He got down from the bus in Udaipur at a place where only he knew where is what, where is this tree, where is this house. He could identify his land. And then he went, 2.5-year-old boy going to a particular house and calling a 45-year-old person as my son. And the person is laughing that how can you say you are my father? And he says so many things. The son is forced to believe that yes, you are my father. And then he takes him to the Udaipur city palace. And he says, I was a security guard chief in this palace. And they said, prove it. Then he shared some details about the palace which only the security heads know. Some secret pathways. He knew, a 2.5-year boy knew how to operate a kerosene fan, a fan which runs by kerosene. In our generation nobody has seen it also. And then he is able to tell where is the rifle of the king kept, where are the secret keys kept. And then he also told that I was killed by this person. He poisoned the milk which I was drinking and that's how I died. Now what is the relationship between the brain of the 2.5-year-old Deep Kapadia to the previous brain of this Udaipur security head, Udaipur palace security head? What is the relationship? Sorry? That means there is no relationship. Correct? There is no relationship. That brain is burnt. Those memories are gone. That time has passed. But here is a 2.5-year-old boy who feels that I am that person. How can you feel like a 70 or a 60-year-old person in a body which is 2.5 years old? Behave like that also. That means, again, if you scientifically analyze all these things, there is no answer to it. There is no answer to it. The only answer is transmigration of the spirit soul, reincarnation of the spirit soul, which proves to us that we are not the body, we are not the mind, we are not the intelligence, we are the spirit soul. In fact, every time you keep changing your body without realizing this. At some point of time you were a boy, then you became a teenager, then you became an adult, then you became an old man, and then very soon you will disappear also. So you are already changing your body without realizing. So therefore, scriptures now, I told you so much common sense. I discussed near-death experience and reincarnation. Why? Just to show you this verse of Bhagavad Gita so that you can believe it. All that which I have discussed till now is summarized in one single statement of Krishna. Please repeat with me. Dehino asmin yatha dehe Kaumaram yauvanam jara Tatha dehantara praptir Dhiras tatra namuhyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at the time of death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Dhiras tatra namuhyati. Those who are dhiras, they do not become agitated or disturbed when they see the soul changing the body. The soul is already changing from body, from boyhood to youth to old age. And when the body is no longer usable, just like when this kurta will no longer be usable, I'll throw it and I'll take a new kurta. Will you lament, what a nice yellow kurta it was, I'm missing it so much. I'll write poetry about it. Will you miss that? No. So dhiras tatra namuhyati. Those who are pandits, those who are intelligent, those who are dhiras, they will not get agitated when they see birth and death. If you are getting agitated, that means you have not read the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That is why whenever someone comes to me, someone in my family has passed away, I am feeling very bad. Immediately I say, open the second chapter, read it. The second chapter is titled by Lord Krishna as Summary of Bhagavad Gita. The whole summary of Bhagavad Gita is there in the second chapter. Whenever and wherever, yada yada, you get a situation where you are affected by the passing away of someone, read the second chapter. You will feel divine guidance and divine energy to go through that phase. And how does the soul go from one body to another body? Another reference is there. The reference of the clothes. This is external reincarnation. That was internal reincarnation, external reincarnation. Vashamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnanya anyani samyati navani dehi. Krishna gives this example. As a person puts on new garments, giving up the old ones, similarly the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Have you opened your cupboard sometimes, took out a few clothes and threw it off? Peko, this is useless. That's what is happening all the time. If you suppose if a person is drowning and the person is telling, save me, and you go and you pull out the t-shirt of that person and leave the person to die. Is it not nonsense? The real help is to save the person, not the t-shirt. So similarly, that t-shirt is our body. We are the spirit soul. The real help which we can offer to a dying man is not to give him a treatment or an injection to save his body. The real help which you can offer is to remind him of Krishna at the time of death. Otherwise, you are trying to shave the t-shirt. If you save that man also, what he will go through? But disease, old age and death, and then again he will die. How many times you will save? Best is to make him understand the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela of Bhagwan so that he goes back home, back to Godhead eternally. So this is the science of reincarnation. When our lust, anger and greed is not finished, when we quit the body, we take up new body. But when our lust, anger, greed, illusion, enviousness and attachments are done, finished by serving Krishna, then there is no reincarnation. I am discussing the topic of reincarnation, but devotees of Krishna should not aspire for reincarnation. We should aspire that we should never take birth again and go back home, back to Godhead. However, the science of reincarnation is here. So this is the proof of the existence of the soul. We saw that the soul is there. We perceived the soul through common sense, through scientific observations like near-death experiences and reincarnations, which you cannot deny. Some very intelligent people say, I do not believe in reincarnation. You have to present this document to them, They will not believe you, but they will believe this doctor, Ian Stevenson. He is from West Virginia, USA. He must be right only. Correct me. If you are saying something from Bhagavad Gita, I don't believe it. But from West Virginia, USA, whatever is told, I believe. So take it. Read this book. Dr. Ian Stevenson has written so many books on reincarnations. 3,000 documented cases are there. Anybody who says, I don't believe in reincarnation, either they are mad or very badly biased. So if reincarnation is happening, near-death experiences is happening, Krishna is speaking, you as a person with common sense are already equipped with it, why do you deny the existence of the soul? And if you are a spirit soul, then you should understand that the soul will become happy only in a spiritual environment. Soul will not become happy in Mysore Palace. You try. You go to Mysore Palace, stand in the balcony and feel like the king of Mysore. You'll not feel happy. It's like taking a fish out of water, putting this fish on the sofa, turning on the AC, turning on the music and putting some nice biryani in front of it. will the fish feel happy? That is what we are trying to do with our life. We are eternal part and parcels of God. We are meant to become loving servants of God, but we are whiling our time in the pursuit of things which have no meaning. So therefore, this brings us to some FAQs, frequently asked questions on the soul. This I have included because I know these questions will be asked. Some questions which are asked like, where does the soul reside in the body? How can I take it out? The answer, according to Vedic scriptures, is that in the region of the heart, the soul resides. Then very intelligent people of Kali Yuga will ask, what if I have a heart transplant operation? My soul will also go with the heart. किसी दूसरे का हार्ट मिला तो उसका थॉट प्रोसेस भी मिला, उसका लाइफ भी मिला, उसका डिजायर्स भी मिला. So heart is a gross organ. Subtler than heart is the mind, intelligence and ego. And subtler than mind, intelligence and ego is the soul. Suppose if I am sitting on this chair and if you say, Prabhuji, we need to change this chair, and you bring another chair, does it mean that I went with the chair? No. I'm already there. So similarly, these are some two intelligent questions which are asked. So I have put it here already. When the heart transplant happens, the soul doesn't go. Only the heart goes. And a new heart comes. What exactly happens at the time of death? Very important question. So I have quoted a verse from the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita here. Please repeat with me. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitah. I'm sorry, people who are sitting at the back, you may not be able to read it. I just realized I will make the font bigger next session onwards. Okay, or else you come closer. Krishna says in the 8th chapter, this 99.99% people on the planet, they don't know the secret signs of death. Krishna says, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. I was giving the example of a person drowning, pulling out the t-shirt, letting the person drown. Then I said, actually, if you want to save someone, you remind them of Krishna at the time of death. So that is what Krishna is saying. That whatever you think at the time of death, that decides your next body. There are some very nice old movies where the hero was thinking of his heroine at the time of death. Very noble death. According to Bhagavad Gita, it is a very idiotic death. If I am thinking of my wife at the time of death, then in my next life I will become a woman. Because that's what I thought. If a wife is thinking about the husband at the time of death, then in the next life she'll end up taking birth again as a man. And that is the main problem. The birth and death cycle continues. If you are very much attached to your house in Vishakhapatnam, so that you are thinking about it while dying, then you will take birth as a snake in that house. These are some laws of nature. And then your own children will come and kill you. Not realizing that this snake is the person who has made everything. So what should you think at the time of death? Should you be lovingly looking at the face of your grandsons and granddaughters? Should you be in anxiety, what will happen to my business when I die? Should you be holding the hands of your sons and daughters, passing stool and urine in the bed, begging your doctor that give me another 2 months? Should you die like that? That is not Vedic culture. Vedic culture means during that, at the time of death, you should think of Krishna. You should think of God. You know what? If you die in an accident helplessly on a road, that is better for you. Rather than dying in your house surrounded by your family members. Because on the road, you are helpless. And in that situation, piteously, you will think of Krishna. You will think of God. But if you are seeing the loving faces of your grandson, granddaughters, family members, who will take care of them? I was their maintainer, protector, and where is my Lakshmi, my dear wife? I was Narayan for her. If you will die in this situation, dog in the next life, in the same house. I'm just giving an example. This is not a glorious death. Don't go by what the movies show. And that is not a glorious death. A glorious death means, that's how Indian Vedic culture used to work. Everybody used to go to the Gurukul. Until the age of 25, they used to practice celibacy and brahmacharya and become a menial servant of the Guru, even if you are a prince. After that, if you desire to get married, point to be noted, not everybody used to get married also. That is why, when somebody used to see, here is a nice boy, here is a nice king, I have 3 daughters, let me give all my 3 daughters. That was the case actually. And these people, they were so strong in their brahmacharya, they were so strong in their training, in their mind and sense control, that they used to not get carried away when they used to have 2 or 3 wives. And the wives used to respect them also. Whenever a husband is sense controlled, the wife will always be respectful. But if any one of the partners comes to know that this is a lusty fellow, no respect is there. Exploitation will be there. I'm telling some very harsh secrets, but this is the truth of life. So after Grihastha Ashram, at the age of 50, the husband and the wife, they used to leave the house and go. They used to hand over whatever they have. Pancham Shordham Vanam Brajet. After the age of 50, hand over everything to your children. Let them manage or not manage. Give up. Just go to a place where you can dedicate your life to serve Krishna. If your spouse wants to accompany you, take your spouse with you. Otherwise, leave your spouse and just leave the house. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a section where Vidura, the younger brother of Dhritarashtra, comes and scolds him very badly. That you have already crossed the age of 50 and you are still sitting in this palace. Shame on you. He comes and scolds. Now, a younger brother speaking like that to an elder brother is very common in Kali Yuga, but in previous yugas, this was not the case. A younger brother calls his elder brother as a dog because in his Vanaprastha time, he is still at home. Your children have become big. They are capable of handling everything. Why are you becoming a dada in your house and still here? Leave and leave and leave and go. That is Vedic culture. That is called first Brahmachari Ashram, then Grihastha Ashram, then Vanaprastha Ashram. And after Vanaprastha, that means post the age of 75, one has to give up the association of their spouse also. If the husband is alive, he sends back the wife to the house of the son or the daughter, and then after that he continues alone. The wife has to live alone and the husband has to live alone and quit their body. This is Vedic culture. And this is how you should die. Then there is some chance that you will think of Krishna. Otherwise, you will think of your house in Vishakhapatnam. And then you will take birth as a snake there. And then the journey will continue. So this is the secret. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. If you want to check your readiness for death, while going out, you just stumble and break your head. And in that situation, when blood is oozing out, what is the first thing which comes in your mind? Now multiply it by 10,000 times. That is the pain of death. How much ready you are to face the final exam of life, which is called death. Are you ready? If not, punarapi janamam, punarapi maranam, punah punah charvita charvana. You go on and on and on. So human life is meant for training. Now you may say that, okay, I am a very young lady or a young man. I will not die. So let me not chant Hare Krishna and read the Bhagavad Gita. So who knows that when they will die? Please raise your hand if you think that you will not die in the next 10 years. Please raise your hand if you are sure that you will not die today. Kal marenge, aaj to nahi marenge. Today is Sunday. I will not die on a Sunday. It's a holiday for Yamaraj also. So therefore, what exactly happens at the time of death? Whatever karma you have done and whatever consciousness which you have, that decides your next body. And human life is meant for solving the problem of birth and death. How does the soul transmigrate? How does the soul go from one body to another body? 15.8 Bhagavad Gita. Shariram yad vapnoti yad chapi utkramat ishwarah grihitvaitani samyati vayur gandhani vashayat. The living entity in material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another as the air carries the aromas. Thus he takes one kind of body and again quits another. Another verse which is related to it is Karanam gunasangasya sadasad yoni janmasu. The kind of association which we have, Karanam gunasangasya, that develops qualities in us. And due to that association, sad asad, good and bad species, we take birth in. And it is like, if I keep, these days only jasmine smells, other flowers don't smell also. So suppose if I keep 3 kg jasmine there, the air which will come will carry the smell of the jasmine. Can you see it? No, but you can perceive it. Similarly, the soul, just like the air carries the aroma, the subtle body will be carried to a different species of life. How this happens? Daiva netrena, by the arrangement of higher authorities who are taking care of the laws of the universe. Nothing is random. Daiva netrena. There are authorities which are known as devatas, demigods, who are working under the supreme direction of Krishna. They are in charge of this transmigration and they don't make mistakes. It has never happened that if you have done activities very bad, by chance you ended up in some other species which was not meant. It has never happened. Daiva netrena. Different demigods have been entrusted with different capacities. There is one demigod, one devata, who is known as Yamaraj. He has been given that capacity by God that if he simply looks at you, he can tell what are the activities which you have done and what is that next body which you deserve. And you cannot tell anything to Yamaraj. He will show a 4K HD vision to you if you deny anything. अरे हमने ये मर्डर नहीं किया था, तो नहीं आप कुछ नहीं बोल सकते. Simply by looking at you, he will understand everything about your mind, body, intelligence, gross body, subtle body, actions, intentions, and you cannot say anything in front of Yamaraj. Everything is documented. If you want to know further, read Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto. The time when you quit your body, till the time you reach Yamaloka, that passage is that is also documented. How long is that passage? What kind of yatana shariras are you given? Suppose you are a nice Kali Yuga person who is very indiscriminately eating, indiscriminately sleeping, indiscriminately mating and indiscriminately defending. Then there are some special hells which are made for you. For treatment of that tendency to enjoy. The description of all those hellish planetary systems are also given. And in these hellish planetary systems, you are given a yatana sharir. A yatana sharir is a subtle body which will experience all the pain but will not die. If you think all this is mythology, just wait for some time. Few years you wait, and then You will understand when you will be there. So, everything is happening by Daiva Netrena, and it happens in a way which can be perceived only by those who have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. The transmigration of the soul. Now, another very intelligent question sometimes comes: what is the size of the soul? So, this is from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. In fact, I will not show you this. I will do an experiment. Please pull out one hair of yours from the head. Otherwise, you will not understand. Please pull out. Okay, some people are pulling out, some people are like, "Hamara hair hi nahi, hum kya pull karenge, sir?" So, those who don't have hair, they are not qualified for this lesson. I'm just joking. Pull out a hair and see the tip of the hair. Not the length of the hair, the tip of the hair. Keep the hair horizontally if possible. And see the tip of the hair. Take the tip of the hair and divide it into 100 parts. 100. Now take the 100th tip of the hair, divide it further into 100 parts. That means we are talking about 1/10,000th tip of the hair. Can you see it? Can you make a microscope to see it? This is just an analogy given in Shvetashvatara Upanishad to make you understand that by your gross senses you cannot perceive the soul. The size of the soul is this. Shvetashvatara Upanishad 5.9 states, when the upper point of the hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each of such parts is further divided into 100 parts, each of such part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. Basically, this is a statement to make you understand that in no way you can see the soul. It is so sukshma. Don't think that after 20 years a very super duper microscope will come, usse hum dekh lenge. Not possible. In which microscope you can see someone's mind? Subtle. Which is that stethoscope which will understand, oh, this person is very egoistic. And the soul is subtler than subtle body also. And this is the size. So this is the size of the soul which runs the body of an elephant, which runs the body of a blue whale. Just imagine the power of the spirit soul. Big, big lions and tigers and human beings and frogs, and everybody is powered by this small, infinitesimally small spirit soul. And this infinitesimal soul is a part and parcel of God. If this soul is so powerful, the soul can create skyscrapers, but God creates galaxies. So you just imagine the power of God. In India, there are some very intelligent people who claim themselves to be God. They don't know whom they are talking about. Anyways, some more FAQs. Do animals have soul? Yes or no?
Yes.
How do you say that?
Because they will also die.
You eat, animal eat. You sleep, animal sleeps. You mate, animal mates. You defend, animal defends. You are reproducing, animal also is reproducing. You are taking birth, animal is also taking birth. So why do you say animals have no soul? You'll be shocked to know that there are some scriptures in the world which say that animals have no soul. You should cut them and eat them. I will not mention those scriptures. There are some religions who believe this also. Animals have no soul. Only human beings have soul. Very sad. In the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, shloka number 8, 9 and 10, Krishna speaks food in the mode of goodness, food in the mode of ignorance, food in the mode of passion, and then he says, you are what you eat. And then he says, if you want to feed me, you have to feed me patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. You have to feed me leaf, flower, fruit and water. This is what Krishna demands. Various kinds of leaves, fruits, vegetables, flowers and water. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. But he does not want it just like that. Yome bhaktya prayachati, with love and devotion. Krishna is being served by millions and billions of Lakshmis. He is not mad behind your puri and rasgulla. You don't know what kind of opulence he is experiencing. But if you offer a single tulsi leaf with love and devotion, oh my dear Lord, you are the master of the whole creation. Everything belongs to you. I also belong to you. There is nothing which I can offer you, but still, I have brought this flower for you. This already belongs to you, but you please still accept it. Then Krishna will accept it. Be very careful, you are dealing with God. If you stand in a puffed up way in front of God, your offerings will never be accepted. Krishna is not Rasgulla Grahi Janardhan. Krishna is Bhava Grahi Janardhan. You may be the master chef Bangalore, but if you don't have love, Krishna will not take your offering. But if you have love, and even if you just offer him little water, he will accept it. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chintamani Prakara Sadma Shukalpa Vriksha. Millions and billions of Lakshmis are serving him with so much love. Sambhrama Sevya Manam. That personality will come and take the water from your house. When little water washes his feet, it becomes Ganges, and Lord Shiva puts it on his head, and the whole universe is getting delivered by the waters of Ganges. That personality will come and take water from your house if you offer it with love and devotion. So everything is a part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna says, Sarva yoneshu kaunteya ahama bij pradah pita. I am the seed giving father of all species of life. Krishna doesn't say I am a Hindu god or an Indian god or a god of only Indians. No. He says all 84 lakh species of life, I am the seed giving father. So which father will like, if a father has two sons, one of them is intelligent, one of them less intelligent. The intelligent one says this son is less intelligent, let me kill him. Which father will like that? You are giving argument that human beings are more important, so all the goat, fish, chicken, eggs should be killed and served. Do you think Krishna will like that? If you have two children, one intelligent, one less intelligent, if I propose let's butcher the less intelligent child and enjoy, will you like that? You are a father. Whether the child is good, bad, intelligent, less intelligent, you love him. There is no reason why you should kill the cow. There is no reason why you should kill the chicken. So animals also have soul. Now next question, ghosts, bhoot pret. People are thinking, mandir mein bula ke bhoot pret ka baat kar raha hai. Are ghosts real? The answer is yes, they are real. Ghost means gross body is not there. Subtle body is there, spirit soul is there. So there are laws of nature, very strict. Always remember this. Suppose if you are in a prison and if you run away from the prison, what happens? They will catch you and your sentence will be doubled. Correct? So similarly, this is a prison. And if you commit suicide, you go against the laws of nature. You are destined to suffer till 80 years, but at the age of 30 you committed suicide. Then for the next 50 years as a ghost. You will have desires to eat, you will have desires to touch, you will have desires to talk, you will have desires to smell, but the gross body is not there. So therefore ghosts are very frustrated and irritated entities. And that's why they create disturbance also. But ghosts are also spirit souls. And they also want to feel the love of God. So therefore, one of my favorite hobbies is to find out places which are ghostly haunted. If you know, you please let me know. Me and my team, we go there, we do very nice Harinam Sankirtan, and we recite Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And because the soul needs that touch of God, all these ghostly living entities, they get delivered when they hear Harinam, when they hear Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And then we start using that property. Because these ghostly haunted houses, they are very cheaply available. I mean, very less rent, or sometimes we get it for free also. We have got it also for free. Near HBR layout, there was one ghostly haunted house. The owner was living in a foreign country. So some citations of ghosts happened, so we went there. And once we purified the place by our chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the owner was so happy. He's like, use it for your classes and use it for your programs. And we said, how much rent? He said, no rent. He was afraid, fir se ghost na aa jaye. So if you know any ghostly, we are in need of more centers. So if you... Trust me, ghosts also need compassion. Ghosts also need to feel the touch of God. And if you know how to do it, you are helping a society. Yeah, ghosts are also a society. It's like there is a human society, there is a ghost society also. You should not just run away, you should, love your ghosts. Anyways, why do souls in plant, animal and human bodies have different consciousness? For example, I am a spirit soul in a human body, I behave differently. But let's say I am a very lusty person, so next life, according to the laws of nature, I'll get the body of a dog. Then in the body of a dog, I will not behave like this. So my consciousness will be expanded or reduced based on the body which I receive. Your consciousness will not function as a human being if you are in a pig's body. As a human being, you like gajar ka halwa. But as a pig, you know what you like? That which gajar ka halwa becomes after 2 days in your stomach, that the pig will like. This is called species. And the Maya Shakti, the illusory energy of the Lord is such that in whichever species you are, you will be always happy. No pig is miserable. No dog is miserable. When you see a dog, you feel, "Arey, kitna miserable life." But the dog is like, what a bliss I am experiencing. When you see the pig eating the green, the blue and the yellow colored stuff, you will be disgusted. But you cannot understand how much happiness the pig is experiencing. That is Maya. When the demigods will be seeing the human beings, they will be like, look at these idiots, simply whiling their lives away. Similarly, when Brahma is seeing the demigods, he like, look at these Devi Devtas, simply socialistic and materialistic desires. Look at this Indra. So every species thinks I am in the best position. Only when you chant Hare Krishna and come in touch with the message of Krishna, you will realize that this world is a dukkhalayam, ashashvatam, anityam, asukham. Otherwise you will feel that how are you? I am fantastic. Okay, one more FAQ. How can we see the soul? The answer is simple, by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, how many of you have the JOSD book? I want to do a 5-minute exercise. You have brought it? Very good. Open to page number 108. And there are some questions. Just 2-line answers are there, which answers these questions, which I don't want to explain, but get answers from you. Questions are, is the soul formless? Is the soul desireless? Can the soul become God? Does the liberated soul merge to become one with God? What is a conditioned soul and what is a liberated soul? These are some of the questions which I think we should do as discussions. We will give you 3 to 4 minutes only, because these are just one-line answers, and then you have to answer these questions. Please take another 2 minutes. Page number 108. Please take 1 minute more. Okay, let's start discussing. Who would like to answer? Even while question and answer, you can also read an answer. You can just read an answer also. No need to answer from your memory. Is the soul formless? Yes.
As per the text,
The soul does not have a physical dimension. However, it does have a spiritual form.
So therefore, the form of the soul cannot be seen through gross senses, but that does not mean that the soul has no form. In fact, this is applicable to every kind of spiritual entity, including God. Sometimes they say, Bhagwan Nirakar hai. That Nirakar doesn't mean that he has no form. It means he has a spiritual form which cannot be perceived through material eyes. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. He is a Vigraha, he is a form. He has a form, but it is a spiritual form. It is not a material form. Material form can be perceived, but because there is no material form, sometimes we say Nirakar. But actually it means no material akar. He has a spiritual akar. Similarly, we say Nirguna. Nirgun doesn't mean that God has no quality. Then why we are worshipping him? Nirgun means he is above Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. His qualities are not affected by the mode of goodness, mode of passion or mode of ignorance. He is transcendental, divya. So therefore Nirakar and Nirguna. Did you understand? Never say that God has no form. And never say that God has no qualities. Never say that the soul is formless. Everything, because in the Bible also it is mentioned. God made man in his own image. If God has no image only, then how did our form come? Do you follow? Next question, very important question. Can the soul become God? Who would like to answer? Yes. First your name and then the answer.
Arvind.
Arvind. Okay.
So,
You can read from the book directly, no problem.
yeah, okay. The soul is the same in spiritual quality but different in quantity. Spiritually, the soul is same, what God has and what we have.
Quality is
same. It's different. For example, a tiny drop of an ocean has the same chemical composition as the mighty ocean.
Yes. So come to the answer. What is your answer? Can the soul become God? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
It's same.
Okay. He is answering that the soul can become God. Any difference of opinion here? Nobody has read what is written? Okay.
But only in the quantity it differs.
Yeah.
My
Take the mic.
I differ from what he said. The soul is same in quality. As far as the quality is concerned, it is the same as God.
Yeah, they are, God is spiritual, you are spiritual.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. However, quantity-wise, there is no comparison between the Jivatma and the Paramatma.
Okay.
And therefore, the soul cannot become God.
Very good. This is the right understanding. Can a drop of water become the ocean? We have the same spiritual nature as God. God is completely spiritual, we are also completely spiritual. However, we are infinitely small and God is infinite. So how can we become God? We are tiny, insignificant part and parcels of God. We are not God. As I said, we can create skyscrapers, but God creates universes and galaxies. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman. We are eternal, God is eternal. We have consciousness, God has consciousness. But the difference between us and God is that we are maintained and God is the maintainer. We do not have the capacity to maintain. We can only be maintained. That is the difference between God and us. So the answer is, there are various schools of philosophies in India. They teach you different things. But here in ISKCON, we follow Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna has told, Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Eternally we are part and parcels of God. There is another statement in the second chapter. Okay, I will not discuss that now. The point which I am trying to say here is that the soul can never become God. The soul can only become a loving servant of God. This is the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. There is another philosophy called Mayavad philosophy, which trains you to understand that I am God, you are God, everybody is God. But Bhagavad Gita does not agree with this philosophy. Bhagavad Gita says, Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. O Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. That is Bhagavad Gita. If I am God, you are God and everybody is God, then why are you suffering? God, don't say that. God never suffers. Have you seen a photo of Krishna where he is like terribly sick or old or very sad, alone? Have you seen? We never see Krishna in any distress or misery. You are suffering miserably in the cycle of birth, disease, old age and death and dengue. And you are calling yourself God. Huh? There are some seriously idiot people who claim themselves to be God. They cannot control their bowel movement, but they are calling themselves as God. The mic and this is here, so it will not be recorded in the video. Can you name some people who claim themselves to be God? They are there in every state of India and every district of India. Can you name some people? Yes, that person. Now he has left Karnataka.
India.
He has left India also. Okay, yes. Highly obnoxious person. He says, I'm delaying the sunset and the sunrise. And then so many people clap also. Yes, very good. Nicely and close the toilet doors. Lock it. Next morning we'll understand. God controls the whole universe. You control your stomach and show. Don't go to toilet. No, that I cannot do. But I am God. Any other examples?
But we say God is everywhere. Not
God is everywhere, but that doesn't mean you are also God. God's energy is everywhere. Just like a king, he rules the whole state through his laws and through his ministers. So the king's presence is there everywhere in the state. But does it mean that the king is personally also everywhere? The king is personally in the palace, but through his energies, he is everywhere. So in that way we have to understand. Krishna, through his expansions, through his delegations, and through his energies, is everywhere. But personally, he is in the place where his devotees are there. Golok eva nivasatya akhilatma bhuto. Krishna, it is said by Lord Brahma that he stays in Goloka Vrindavan only. Goloka eva nivasatya akhilatma bhuto. But at the same time, he is there in the heart of every living entity also, as his expansion. Expansion means vistar. Vistar, expansion, what does it mean? I will explain in next session. So, some other names who claim to be God. This is very important.
I don't remember his name. Recently, there was some incident happened in UP. Earlier he was a policeman and now he was claiming as God. In very suited booty. Yeah.
Yeah, see. There are many in Andhra also. Any Andhra gods? Yeah, claiming themselves to be God. One of them has opened a university also. A couple, husband-wife couple, they call themselves to be God. And their next God is their son only. And internship God is going on. So this is all nonsense. This is all nonsense. I am not taking some prominent names. Because if I take prominent names, there will be a problem. But nobody can be God. If somebody is claiming to be God, that means that person is a dog. God has some features. If anybody is claiming to be God, ask them to lift the Govardhan. Ask them to show the Vishwarupa little bit for 10 seconds. No, that all they will not do. God is very beautiful, but this person is like an old idiot, dying. What is this Leela? God is most beautiful, most strong, most rich, most famous, most renounced. Where are these qualities in you? You don't have any qualities of God. You cannot do any activities like God. But you are calling yourself to be God. This is nonsense. We should beat such a person. And that will be a favor towards Bhagavad Gita. Actually, all the incarnations of God has been very nicely documented. If somebody is claiming I am God, we should say, where is your name? In fact, every incarnation of God, not only that incarnation's name, the name of that incarnation's father, mother, place of birth, time, everything is documented. The next incarnation, where it will come, when it will come, what will be the name, what will be the activities, who will be the father, who will be the mother, everything is documented. If your name is not there in Bhagavatam, that means you are not God. The next incarnation will come only after 4,27,000 years. Kali Yuga's lifespan is 4,32,000 years. 5,000 years are over. After 4,27,000 years, Keshava Dhrita Kalki Sharira. Kalki will descend. In between, if any God comes, that means they are not God, they are dog. Because only a dog can claim that I am God. Any sensible man will never claim. We have, just like a drop of water has the same chemical formula as the sea, but the drop of water cannot become the sea. A particle of gold cannot become a gold mine. Just because you are spiritual, God is spiritual, doesn't mean that you are God. This is the basic. Because people don't read Bhagavad Gita, they do all these things. Okay, one more question only I'll discuss. Can two souls be identical? You can read and tell. You have a question? Do you have a question?
No, I have a point.
Okay, please make your point.
The presence of soul is not disputed. Indisputable.
Please speak in the mic. Yeah.
Agree. But how the mind or the body feel the presence of soul?
How to experience it? Is there a method by which you can experience or feel it?
Yes, I already discussed it. You can. I already discussed it here. Yeah. You can feel the presence of soul by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. For example, when you eat, you understand. Your hunger goes away, you get nourishment, and with every bite, you are feeling strength. You don't need a certificate for that. Similarly, when you chant Hare Krishna, you will realize you're not the body, but a spirit soul. You will realize your sambandha, your abhidheya, and your prayojan in this life. And this can be only experienced. Your lust, anger, and greed will reduce. And then you will realize I am not the body. So the only way to realize I am the spirit soul is to chant Hare Krishna and become a student of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Can two souls be identical quickly? Anybody? People are a little lost today. I think all of you are tired, right? How many of you are tired? Yes. Give me 5 minutes. I'll end it. I'm also feeling tired. 1.5 घंटा हो गया. Okay. No, two souls can never be identical. Even identical twins are not identical. So like this, you can read these questions. Now, advantages of soul realization quickly. This is the last slide. These are some of, I have mentioned few advantages which you can just feel it, and then few advantages which you can live with. For example, if you understand that you are a spirit soul, how much freedom you will experience? You are sorry? Enormous freedom. Suppose you are, distressed because of something. You have been always put down upon in your society because of having taken birth in a particular family, some casteism, or suppose if you have a body which is not good looking, or some reason because of which you are being put down because of your body. But you realize that you are not the body. How much freedom you will feel? I am not this body, man. I am a spirit soul. I have been put down from last 20 years just because I was born in this particular family. But I am not this body. I am a spirit soul. You will feel a lot of freedom. Similarly, you will be able to forgive others also. If somebody abuses you, they are abusing your body, they are not abusing you. Similarly, all spiritual qualities like fear, forbearance, fearlessness, focus will come. How focus comes? When you understand that you are not the body but the spirit soul. How will focus come?
Distractions go away.
How?
We will focus less on the materialistic.
Very good. Materialistic thing, what is the biggest materialistic thing? Money. Everybody wants money. Put a 1 rupee coin in front of the sun. What is the value of this 1 rupee coin in front of the sun? There is no value. But if you become too attached to this 1 rupee coin and bring it very close to your existence, then you will not see the sun. And for that 1 rupee you will die. Maybe you will never see the sun rising or setting also. Similarly, there are things which are actually important in life. Some things are not important. When you have a higher goal and a higher focus, you will be able to tolerate and exhibit more forbearance. For instance, when you are traveling in a train, your compartment may be dirty, noisy, the toilet may be smelly, but that doesn't mean that you will end your journey or jump out of the train. Why? Because you have a higher goal, a higher focus. Your goal is to reach the destination. So therefore you tolerate everything. And once you get out of the train, you don't miss the train also. Because always you wanted a higher goal. Similarly, our focus should be to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. So then, when my goal is high, I'll be able to tolerate and feel some detachment with all the other unnecessary miseries of life. Miseries will come. But because I have a higher goal and a higher focus, I will be able to tolerate and not suffer. Sometimes Krishna also gives us miseries. The moment you surrender to Krishna and become a devotee of Krishna, Krishna takes personal charge of your life. And when he sees the last vestiges of enjoyer mentality in your heart, just to treat that, he gives you some miseries. But that is not laws of karma. That is Krishna's intervention in your life. So therefore, when we have such kind of a spiritual vision, whatever happens, we accept it as mercy of the Lord. Sometimes somebody's beloved dies and they say, Krishna is not merciful. No. It is mercy of Krishna that he has given you that treatment, which is making you go through and grow through that phase. So understanding that I am a spirit soul and Krishna is my best well-wisher, and everything which is happening is by his sanction, and he is my best well-wisher, it gives you so much fearlessness in life also. However, the most important things of understanding soul realization is the sambandha, abhidheya and prayojan. When you understand you are a spirit soul, you understand your sambandha with Krishna. Jivera Swarup hai Krishnera Nityadas. Your eternal constitutional position is that you are a loving servant of God. This is your sambandha. And then abhidheya means what you should do. I should serve God by chanting his holy names in Kali Yuga. Prayojan, what is the aim of my life? The aim of my life is to come out of the cycle of birth and death, go back home, back to Godhead, eat with Krishna, sing with Krishna, dance with Krishna, play with Krishna, roam with Krishna, just be with Krishna. So when you understand this sambandha, that I have a relationship with God, when you understand the abhidheya, what sadhana I should do that I will attain God, and when you understand the prayojan, that the goal of my life is not to become the Prime Minister of India, the goal of my life is to become a loving servant of God. That is the advantage of soul realization. Okay, so with this we end today's discussion. I would like to remind all of you that whatever result was obtained in Satyuga by meditating on Lord Vishnu and in Treta Yuga by performing